How you doing, guys? It's Dr. Farrell, and this is a video kind of going through the syllabus with you in History 9. And I put it up so that, I can explain myself and we don't have to spend any time in class on this. And so, with no further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get after it. All right? All right, well, this is the Canvas page for the class for History 9. And as is clear, I want you to start here, okay? I have a video that kind of introduces myself. It's actually from last semester, but I like to let my students know who I am and how I tick. I also like to kind of humanize the class by sharing myself with you, whether you care or not. And there's a lot of value in that. So please take the time to watch that so that you can know a little bit about me. I've also got a video on here about being sensitive to others, which is to say talking about microaggressions, about 22 minutes long. It's very good. I'm sure that some of you will be surprised by some of the things that are microaggressions. I was. So please pay attention to that too. Those together, about an hour and 20 minutes, hour and a half maybe altogether. I know that sounds long, but anyway. And then, of course, there's going to be a link to a video which you're watching right now, which is this introductory video, and it will be placed in here when I'm done producing it, okay? So let me say that the course is organized around a schedule, and the schedule itself can be found here, or the schedule can be found in the modules, okay? I suggest that you kind of use both the modules and the schedule, just to make sure that you're always on time and you know what's what. But even though I am only revealing one of the modules right now, there will be 8, and we will basically work through the course by doing the work in the 8 modules, okay? So I'm not going to open up the schedule right now. You don't need to see it right now. Just know that the schedule is made. Your daily assignments are there. And of course, I want you to always be prepared on time. I have a little 2-page presentation here that you can read about my teaching philosophy. This student personal survey, I want you to finish by Sunday night, January 24th. I need that information back so I can get to know you a little bit, and also so I can maneuver the class into 3 teams, which we will talk about. And for those of you that care about my educational background and what I've accomplished, whatever that might be, in 25 years of teaching college, you can kind of look me up here. Okay, so that's that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stay on the shell for now for a minute. Before I go back to the syllabus, but we'll get back to the syllabus in a second. You will be meeting with me in class basically twice a week. This is the link, the Zoom link for those classes. Notice that there are a couple of weeks when we actually won't meet on Monday and Wednesday, but we'll meet on Wednesday and Friday, in which case the Monday class will meet on Wednesday and the Wednesday class will meet on Friday. But I think there's only 2 weeks throughout the semester where that's going to happen. Most of the meetings will be at 1 o'clock on Monday and Wednesday, okay? And so please make sure that you download the most recent software for Zoom. So even if you were taking Zoom classes last semester, go ahead and download the newest version. That will help when it comes to using breakout rooms, okay? If you don't do that, the breakout rooms are not going to work. And, well, I'm not going to be happy about that. So make sure that you have the most recent copy of Zoom. If you need to visit with me during office hours, there are 3 separate links here, which you can always go to, and I will be there. If for some reason I'm not there, it probably means that I'm with another student. You might be in a waiting room. Occasionally I step out of the room, but generally speaking, I try to stay in my room during these office hours. But if you have to wait a few minutes, I'm sorry. But it's only because something else is more pressing right now, okay? There's a tab for supplemental materials where I will put up things that are kind of outside of the modules but important to the class. And while I'm here, let me just say that I have what's called an ID definition here. The IDs are something we're going to be working with. And I've basically told you how to write an ID or an identification. And I want you to read this and understand what we're after. And what we're going to organize some of our quizzes, actually 10% of your grade is going to come from 4 so-called quick write quizzes, in which you're going to have 10 minutes to write on one ID from a list of IDs, and that's going to be part of the way that I get you to write. Okay, so just be aware that you really need to read that ID definition and make sure that you understand it. I've got the grading rubric for the papers here, which you can check, but that you don't have to worry about until later in the semester. I've got some footnoting and bibliography instructions here, which again, you don't need to check right now, but they are there. And then, of course, I will be adding other things under supplemental materials. And then finally, on this particular thing, let me just say that the course, as I said, is going to be organized around modules, 8 of them. In the top section, you might see a video of Natasha's dance, which I want you to watch, or there might be a link to an introductory lecture, if I have one for that module. And then, of course, if you have any readings in that module, they will be here. For instance, one of the readings is going to be a short 15-page poem by Pushkin, which you simply click on and open. You can download it if you want and save it onto your hard drive, which is completely up to you. All you have to do is click download, or you can just kind of read it right here. And when we have these kind of outside readings, that's how you will get access to them. As it turns out, all of the readings in this course are accessible via Canvas, and theoretically you wouldn't have to pay anything for the course as far as books go, although 2 of the books are available in the Kennel bookstore. The big one that we'll be working out of and reading the entire thing, it's 750 pages, it's called Natasha's Dance, and I have a PDF for Natasha's Dance. Now, I don't know if you want to read off of this version. If you want to read off of this version, and you can read off of this version, that's fine with me. You can use it, or you can purchase the book. But it is a beast of a file. As you can see, it takes a long time to open. It's a 750-page file. It's a massive PDF as far as that goes. If you're going to use it, I suggest you simply download it onto your computer and then open it from your computer rather than trying to wait for Canvas. But let me just kind of illustrate to you, although it might take a minute or so to open. Maybe I should have downloaded the PDF, although I have it. Basically, I just want you to be aware that the text is actually pretty small, okay? I mean, it's literally a copy of the book, but it's also, kind of odd. So I'll leave it up to you whether you read from this version or whether you read from a hard copy that you can get at the kennel. But anyway, you can see actually one of the problems already, which is it's taking forever to download. All right. So all right. So after that little glitch, we're back. And let me see, where was I? I was talking about the first module. So we just talked about the book, Natasha's Dance, and readings, extra readings like Pushkin. Another important part of the course are the so-called focus questions. These focus questions are questions that I want you to prepare daily for, which is to say that every reading that we have will have focus questions. So for instance, for Monday, I want you to be ready to answer these 4 focus questions on the assigned reading for Monday. Actually, these 8 focus questions. And then for the next reading, you'll see that I've got focus questions for you. And if sometime there's a focus question that comes from a different source and you haven't been assigned that source, just figure that I didn't change the page. But as you can see here, we have all of the questions, the so-called focus questions for Module 1, right here on this page. And we will use those questions on a daily basis, and you'll figure it out. It's very easy to kind of work through. So the focus questions are essentially advanced preparation. Basically, what I want you to do is I want you to do the reading before you come to class, and I want you to be prepared to have an in-depth conversation about the readings. There's plenty of material in there. They're not really massive readings, but you know, there's a lot there, and I want you to pay attention to the substance of those readings. And we're basically going to have a little seminar twice a week about these things, okay? And I also have put up the IDs for Module 1. These are the topics that I will want you to prepare to answer in ID form. Basically, you need to write for 10 minutes on them in an exam. And if I ask you for a stankino, this third one, you will need to explain to me exactly what it is, why it's significant, and so forth. Okay, so basically the rhythm of this course is going to be built around readings, class, discussions, and occasionally some writing that's going to be, of course, graded. Okay. So that's kind of how the Canvas shell works. And now all that remains is for me to open the syllabus and go ahead and kind of talk through the syllabus with you. I'm going to download it just so I can open it and manipulate it within a different piece of software. But anyway, keep in mind, by the way, that I do not feel obligated to read every word of this, and you wouldn't want me to anyway. But I do want you to feel obligated to read every word of this, all right? So I'm just going to kind of quickly go through this. I'm Dr. John Farrell. I want you to call me Dr. Farrell. I don't want you to call me Mr. Farrell. I don't want you to call me Farrell. I don't want you to call me anything except Dr. Farrell, all right? It's an honorific. I've earned it. I think you need to use it. You need to refer to me in an appropriate way. And I would like that to be either Dr. Farrell or Professor Farrell, although Dr. Farrell is more accurate because technically I'm not a professor. I am an adjunct lecturer. Not that that matters, but anyway, please use the terms of respect that we have earned. It's appropriate, okay? I'll be having office hours. We've already talked about that. Here's my email address. You know, I'm pretty good about getting back to students, but sometimes I need some time. If you have a problem with me, or I'm not satisfying you, or I'm not taking care of you in some way, then of course you can contact Dr. Bill Scubin, who is the chair of the history department. Here is his phone number. Here is his email address. And if you need any help beyond the help that you can get from me, then please go ahead and contact him. We have information here on health screening and COVID measures and safety. Of course, you need to follow those and you need to know those, and they are here on the syllabus. The syllabus itself, of course, is a statement of policies. It's a contract between you and me. I have to live up to its policies, and you have to live up to its policies, and that's how it works. I won't be changing it, except in the most extraordinary of circumstances, which, for instance, a year ago, March 16th of 2019, or was it 2020? It was 2020. Seems like 2 years ago. It was only 1 year ago, not even 1 year ago. Anyway, we had to change things up because of COVID. So occasionally it happens, but very, very seldom. That may have been the first time I ever had to change my syllabus in 25 years of teaching college. So it is a rarity. It might happen, but I'll try everything in my power to keep it from happening. I always put a section in my syllabus on resources on campus for students. Here I say on campus because it's not, you may not be able to come on campus, but the point is there are resources. And the thing I want you to realize is that because I care about you as human beings and as students, but as human beings first, I want you to know that there are services for you that you've already paid for by paying your fees. In that sense, they're free. They are for you, and if you need them, then by all means, please take advantage of them. For those of you that have difficulties in life, and who doesn't, but for those of you that might need to speak with someone who's not your pastor, who's not your parent, who's not your boyfriend or girlfriend, or your husband or wife, or your partner, or friends, just understand that the Student Health and Counseling Center is there for you. They also address issues of your physical health. So it is a health and psychology kind of counseling center. But please be aware that that's available to you. Writing is very important, especially in a history major. And if you are a history major, you should write well. And if you don't write well, you should learn to write well. And if you need help learning to write well, we have a writing center here on campus that can be very helpful. I will grade you down for grammar and punctuation mistakes and poor writing. It's just part of the deal. I want you to concentrate on writing well, and that's important. And I want you to be successful. So I'm letting you know that there's help out there, but I'm not necessarily the person to help you. I'm your history professor. I'm not your writing instructor. So just be aware that we have resources for that. We have the Henry Madden Library, which you should use. And we have the librarians who love to help students. They're very helpful. They're just sitting around waiting to help students. So please take advantage of that if you need to. Of course, there's a whole Henry Madden Library website, which you can check out books and find articles and book reviews and all kinds of interesting stuff. And if you have questions about that, I can talk to you about it. But I just want you to know that that's available. If you're a student with disabilities, of course, take advantage of the help that we offer here at Fresno State. If you need tutoring, the history tutor here at Fresno State is a former student and present student. He's in my graduate course right now. He's very conscientious, and he could help you, and he wants to help you. He's getting paid to help you. If indeed you feel like you need tutoring in this class, and if you need it in other classes, then of course just contact the Learning Center, and they'll put you in contact with a chemistry tutor or whomever. All right. Now, I don't know if I'll be using SupportNet much in this class, but if I were to identify you as a student that was struggling, and I somehow felt like I needed to enlist more help, I might refer you to SupportNet. Please understand that it's not because I'm angry at you. It's because I want you to succeed, and those kinds of things might be helpful. So just know that if I ever refer you to SupportNet, it's because I actually want you to succeed, and I feel like I can't really help you all that much. For those of you that are hungry, I mean, there's a lot of people who don't have enough food right now. Please understand that we have a student cupboard. It's a food bank for students. And if you need to take advantage of that, please take advantage of it. They want to help, okay? And for other off-campus basic needs and mental health resources, we also have a person at Project Hope who's affiliated with the university, but it's, this is for stuff that needs to be taken care of off campus. The clinical case manager is Diana Karagosian, so please reach out to her if she can help in any way. And I say all of that not because you're defective or not because I think, you're somehow bad people. That's not the point. It's because you're human beings. And human beings suffer and have difficulties, and, it's important to get help when we need it. All right? Technology, of course, is important to this class, and so if you need some assistance, I'm not your guy, but the Discover eHub in the library is a nice place to start. You can also call the help desk at 278-7000, the computer help desk. Here is the number for the Discover eHub. But the point is that we have a pretty good infrastructure here to help with technological questions, but you might have to wade through some of it to kind of get to where you need to be, if you will. All right. Obviously, we're going to be using Canvas, and I've put something in the syllabus which asks you to make sure you set your notifications so that you'll get all the announcements for the course. If you don't get the announcements for the course, well, you got a problem. I don't use them all that much, but it's not uncommon for me to shoot out a couple of announcements each week to all of my students who I expect to read them and who need to read them. Okay. So Canvas will be our learning management system, and it will give us access to most, frankly, of what we need to complete this course. We will be using Respondus Lockdown Browser, so you need to download that. I will have more information for you in a bit, but the point is that you need to have that. I understand that though Chromebook was not usable with Respondus before, it is now. So whether you have an iPad or a Chromebook or a full-on computer, the lockdown browser will help. Please notice that I'm not going to use the camera. I'm not requiring the camera. I don't want to surveil you. I just want to have kind of an even hand when it comes to having a testing environment where you need to pull the stuff from your head and not from your notes. And by the way, let me just say this, that we're going to be taking quick write quizzes, and we're going to be taking essay exams. And if I catch you cheating, if I figure out that you are somehow cutting and pasting or whatever the case may be, watch out, because I'm going to bust you. All right? And so this is very, I mean, you guys have some advantages here if you wanted to cheat. And so I'm going to build into the system considerations for that. But I don't want you to cheat. I want you to study. And when you sit down to write your exams, I want you to just be you and your computer, and it's coming from what's in your head. And if I find out that that's not how it happened, I'm going to come after you, because that's just not right. Okay? So I'm a stickler on that, although I'm also at a disadvantage. Okay? I mentioned earlier that you need to download the most recent Zoom software. I'll remind you again that you need to do that. Okay? Here's a section for required readings. I've already talked about that. These two are available in the Kennel bookstore if you want physical copies. But please understand that Turgenev also is available online in this course, as is Figes. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, you have 8 course modules. We're going to be working through the course a module at a time, each one about 2 weeks long. I mentioned that we're going to be having classes and that we'll meet Mondays and Wednesdays, and I've talked about that already. I've mentioned that we have readings and focus questions, and I want you to be prepared. If I sense that you are not prepared, I'm going to call you on it, and I want you to be able to participate in everything that we do in this class. And in that sense, it's a student-driven discussion, I hope. I don't have lectures in each module, but I might by the end of the semester. I don't know. But the lectures that I do have in the module are there for your learning, and I think that they're useful. They are not in any way a substitute for doing the reading, but they are useful, okay? And they are there for you. And of course, I've mentioned that the supplemental materials will kind of populate as I feel like all of that is necessary, okay? So let me go ahead and go through the assignments, so to speak. First of all, you're going to have 2 exams, one at the midway point and one at the final. They are large-scale exams. Each of them will cover 4 modules. And these exams are straight essay. I will give you some essay questions, 5 or 6, a week or so before the exam. They will grow out of the focus questions that I've already given you and provided for you. And for that reason, it would be very smart on your part to really do the focus questions on a regular basis so you won't have to cram for the exams, okay? They will be 50-minute or 60-minute exams. They will be in a window that you have to complete on a given day. You'll have a 16-hour window to do an exam. The exam will only open for, an hour. But the point is that you will need to take it on Respondus. I have to give you 2 attempts for technical reasons, but I only want to ever see a second attempt if the first attempt had a technical problem and just, got jacked up. I'm not going to read 2 full exams. You don't get 2 attempts in that sense, all right? You get 1 attempt. But the point is, we have to kind of have a second attempt just in case there's some technical glitches, all right? You'll be writing a 1,500-word essay towards the end of the semester, and that essay is going to grow out of the course, and it's going to be completely up to you what you write it on. It will need to be well argued and focused and make sense and use proper citations and all of that kind of stuff. But it's going to be a 1,500-word essay that will be due towards the end of the semester. That's another 20% of your grade. So now we're up to 60% of your grade. I am going to be grading you personally on engagement and participation. 30% of your grade will come from me. So you need to show up for class, you need to be prepared, and you need to be ready to engage, and you need to engage, okay? There are approximately 21 of you right now, and that means that everybody's going to get a chance to speak every day, and I want to see you guys flourish, okay? So please understand that I'm going to be watching closely, probably at the halfway point. If I think you need some encouragement or some improvement, I might shoot you an email saying, hey, this is my assessment of you so far. And so that's what's going to happen. I think I've mentioned that I'm going to break the class up into 3 groups of 7 or so breakout rooms. We might change those at the halfway point of the course. We might not, but those are a very important part of each class. Okay, attendance is mandatory. Your second, oh my God, it will cost you 10%. Yeah. I think I'm going to change that and say that your third absence, not your second absence, but your third absence will begin to accrue penalties, and they will be significant penalties. 10% of the 30% of the 300 points for engagement could be assessed. Okay, so I'm not messing around. I understand we're in COVID. I understand you might need to miss class once in a while, but excessive absences I don't want to have to deal with. Okay. If we do, we do, but I don't want to have to deal with it. It's too much in this context. So please do everything you can to be in class. When you miss class, the classes will have been posted on Canvas, so you can catch up, but I don't want you to miss. Okay. Now, I think I've said probably enough about that. And then finally, the last 100 points will come from 4 quick write quizzes, which will happen basically at the end of every 2 modules. They are not worth that much, but they do require you to concentrate and write quickly, and those are the quick write policies. I do have a makeup policy, which you can read. Again, I hope you won't need makeups, but if you do, then you do. All right. What can I copy or record? And what I want to say to you is you can use anything that I give you for your own purposes of instruction. If you want to share them with your family or your friends, that's fine with me. But I want to be very clear that you have no right whatsoever to monetize anything that I produce. And I also am asking you to not politicize anything in this course in the sense of, doxing me or something like that. I'm here to do my best for you. If you disagree with me about something, that's fine. But I'm letting you know that this is not personal, and this stuff that we're producing is about education. It shouldn't be about politics. Okay, so don't try to take advantage of of me, or for that matter, get me in trouble or something like that. Although I don't anticipate I'm going to do anything to get in trouble, but in this atmosphere, you don't know. So anyway, I just want to be straight with you and say that you have no right to monetize my content. And although you do have a right to free speech and you can do what you want with your life as far as that goes, I would ask you to keep what happens in the classroom in the classroom. With reference to classroom behavior, I would also add that I want us all to be respectful of one another, and I expect that we will, and I don't think we'll have any trouble. But I always want you to know that, class is a place for serious people doing serious things, and I treat the classroom that way. I give my fair share of effort so that you can benefit, all right? The rest of the university policies are just kind of general, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. I think that you will be able to figure all this stuff out quite well, but let me just repeat that this Start Here module, I'd really like you to have completed, if you can, by the end of the weekend. By the way, I generally don't require people to work on weekends, but I know you're students and you're flexible and you work on weekends. So at the very least, be prepared for class on Monday. Do the student personal survey so that I can get to know you a little bit, and so that I can help you if there are certain concerns that you have. And of course, it's all private. And be ready to work on Monday, okay? So have a great weekend. I'm looking forward to working with you. This is a very interesting subject. Most of you don't know much about it, so it'll be a very interesting class. It'll be work, but it'll be an interesting class, and I look forward to working with you, okay? So I'm going to cut loose and tell you guys to have a good weekend, and I'll see you on Monday, all right?